Shaka Zulu, who knew the dude would grow from YouTube, evolve from Boo Boo, alter what I've been through. My shit's the new jujitsu, move just like Vishnu. Yes, we pay dues and let that 223 choose or kiss my blue suede shoes. Never look in my eyes, we hold the meeting outside. The element of surprise, the elegant and the wise. Elephant is my size, this testament that don't lie. Heaven sent, so we fly, represent till I die. Nothing else but Saga City. We drink whiskey out of double D titties. AK got 50, just to bless the holy shitty. We show no pity or no mercy, that's even if your pocket's hurting. Rolls Royce or the casket curtain, pleasure or the treasure searching. You niggas know I push that work in, that's for certain. They call me Father Merchant, the Martian lurking. They got your baby mama twerking and baking biscuits. Everybody's your servant in the gangster living. This is the money religion. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. You see, I try to stay classy, but niggas don't like respect. A bunch of goons with hair on spoons and tattoos on their neck. A bunch of fools that'll lose their whole life in a bed. Around whores and corsets, more or less. Money's married to stress. When they birth life and death, we ask who fathered this mess. The dead from a pregnancy test got you asking what's next. Sell your flesh, cause you deserve the best, don't ya? Never know the aroma from a hairy choncha. Never know what side you want until your life's a goner. With that beef, we squeeze like limes on my Corona. From California to Florida, we survive with slanted eyes and mob minds. Nigga, this is God's grind. We will see in due time, put belief in new crimes. Relief is for the good guys, release the weak from true lies. Let them meet the chief of the blue skies, why not? I'm from the 90s, nigga, it was dark and hell was hot. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men. We let the games begin, divide the boys from men.
Dealing off the turf like it was never gonna run dry, that ain't no business. No other game is run so disorganized. Look around. Everything that is taking care of business is together. Dig it tight.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father. Come to Papa.
I love you, Daddy.
Yes, we do this the Catholic way. Juggernaut gives a fuck not about what you say. You will understay, assume the position. The dungeon smelling like fishes. We leave them hanging from the ceiling. This the Inquisition, man on a mission. Don't take it personal, this is nothing but business. My game is universal, but you'll see when I'm finished. Pretty girl with them hurt holes, it'll make her pay attention. And now she washing dishes, minding her own. This is Africa, I keep the bucket naked at home. When I lift my garage door, you see that candy and chrome. When I speak into Lion's Roar, so don't mind my tone. You niggas better act wrong. Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father. Yes, I create and I break law, and I do have the intention to take
I love you, Daddy.
Playing punishment don't mean that I hate y'all. Must have forgot we came up off them 8 balls. Stay raw, yes your children, what the fuck is a meal? What the fuck is
I
the
love you,
deal?
Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father. Niggas move too messy to come and test me. You fuck around and receive the blessing with
I
no
love you,
confessing.
Daddy.
Face the rejection, space of consequences, immaculate conception, and make you drop all defenses.
I love you,
Stop
Daddy.
your crying and bitching, lying and snitching, riding over these ditches because it dead keep the riches.
I love you,
Red my
Daddy.
constituents, memorize the blueprint and leave a poltergeist fingerprint. We ain't about that bullshit.
I love you,
Sins of
Daddy.
the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the chessboard, a chessboard that I was made for, and let a million skeletons misclaim
I love
right
you,
up on my
Daddy.
paws. I kick down doors from the Luxor. This is thought, cut from a different cloth. Nigga, fuck
I
with
love you,
thought.
Daddy.
Silly bitches get taught or get caught in the onslaught. This is order, then I buy some clock for my sons
love
and
you,
daughters.
Daddy.
Ain't no water for a beggar. This is manner than mega. And always remember, nigga, it is our
I love you,
overrated.
Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Sins of the father.
I love you, Daddy.
Yes, I create and I break law. Yo, what in the fuck is going on with the world? This shit is phenomenal. Yeah, let's talk about some metaphysics, man. Can we talk about some metaphysics, man? You know, I thought it was very interesting. Okay, so 1997, March 9th, Biggie Smalls dies, right? In 1997, I was only 13 years old when all of this occurred, you know. So we got to look at it. I'm only 13. And I stole the album Life After Death with some white boys from the Kmart. You understand? And, you know, I looked at the album cover, and the album cover got Biggie standing in front of a hearse. You know, now this album came out March 25th, 27 years ago yesterday, right? And it didn't sit right with me. Just like what happened with Pac, you know. Pac died on a Friday the 13th. And it was 7 days after he got shot up. And the album was called Machiavelli, The 7-Day Theory. And this was the beginning doorway to the medieval. And there was another doorway created for the medieval, which was done by Killer Priest. He got an album called The Elizabeth. And it was, Elizabeth is, medieval centered and the whole thing. And I thought it was an extreme mockery. I said, man, these niggas just died and you got Pac on the cross and then Life After Death comes out and this nigga standing by a hearse. Mockery. This is a mockery. You're clowning these niggas, man. This is not good, what you want to call pictography. I want to use that word, pictography. It's not good for the title. It wasn't good. It was a lot of crazy energy behind it. I'm only 13 years old at the time. But I saw this East Coast, West Coast beef shit. And, watching the award shows and all this other shit. It was a lot of niggle, a lot of confusion. It's me. I'm just a fucking kid at the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look at this shit. This shit is complex retardation, Heavy metaphysics was involved. Was somebody behind Suge Knight putting out the Machiavelli? We don't know. Is somebody behind the Puffy putting out the Life After Death? We don't know. But we see through Puffy's record, there's a long record of the debauchery, okay, and your treatment of people, you know. Now I gotta go into some things here because to me, as a historian, a world-renowned historian, I understand. See, the majority of the people don't understand history. And you depend on these videos being put onto YouTube for your intellectual space and things of that nature. I don't. When it came to the literature that I've written, this is not a reliance on the YouTube and motherfuckers running their mouth. Um, I've been lied to a lot during the course of my life. So due to the lying, I sort of like wrote the human mouth all the way off. I had to tell a homie about that the other night. Like, dog, you think you're doing all this bragging? Like, I don't give a fuck, bro. That's your picture, you know, and I don't have no proof of what you're stating. So I don't believe anything coming out of your fucking mouth, bro. I don't believe anything coming out of a human's mouth. You know, you have the two eyes, you have the nose, you have the chin. You're a human, you're a liar, is how my mind is wired up. I don't listen to shit you're talking about. I don't believe shit you're saying. Okay. I will believe literature, and I won't believe it the first time I read it. I have to have it from multiple different sources stating the same thing, which if you're a historian, you understand that that's going to happen, especially depending on what time period you're dealing with. And also due to the accreditation of the historian that's writing the information who took the time to do so. Now, when it comes to authors, a lot of authors say, you know, I'm going to take the time because what I'm encountering is phenomenal and people need to believe it. I mean, people need to know it. People need to encounter this information. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to put it in the literature format because I keep talking to people and I'm getting into arguments and I'm getting into, you know, the destruction of relationships and things are happening because I'm trying to show people something. And a lot of people don't want to be shown shit. So, and a lot of people have their own thinking and they have their own, you know, and people don't take history as a reality. They don't take science as a reality or a serious thing. People who write books do, you know, and when you go through a lot of history, you understand clearly, you know, that there has been orgies nonstop in every single civilization. You know, the human will put on the animal's head and walk around, just like we see in ancient Egypt. All the gods have animal heads. You know, we see that in the mythology of Greece, Rome, so on and so forth. You know, even the masquerades of the medieval times and wearing deer antlers, wearing bull antlers. You'll see it on the helmets of different warriors from different time periods and civilizations. So what you got to understand is that any man given money and power, he's pulling his fucking cock out. Okay. This is for the inexperienced, I guess, the one who hasn't already achieved this goal. There's a couple of, you know, saintly emperors and rulers of different time periods who didn't do that, but it's a very small percentage. By majority rule, any king or emperor given money and power, he's going to be fucking a lot of pussy. Okay. That's what's going to happen. Okay. You see this with Genghis Khan. You see this with a multitude of the different emperors in Rome. You see this in ancient Egypt with the multitude of different wives. You see this everywhere. It's in everywhere. It's every time period of man. Okay. When a woman is given too much money and power, guess what she's doing? She's squatting on motherfuckers' faces. Okay. That is what is occurring. This is throughout history. This is human activity. Okay. This is a normality. What you got to understand. Okay. We see this with when you go into in-depth research about certain temples and certain gods of mythology and goddesses, and you see there's been large orgies that were conducted. Sometimes these orgies had animals involved. Sometimes orgies had to have death involved and murder and all of these different and blood from different animals or blood from humans. This thing has been going on for eons, my friend. This is the human act. Okay? You cut off each other's heads, you shoot each other up, and that's what you've been doing since the caveman time. All tribes have done it. Yes, African tribes have done it as well. Do you understand me? Chinese tribes did it. Okay? Vikings, Ostrogoths, Visigoths, they all did it. You understand? Nobody is free of guilt in this area. They've all done it. It's involved in the rituals. It's involved in medicine sometimes, and this is nothing new for me. For a lot of other people, it's, oh my God, I don't believe it. Oh my God, why is this all we're supposed? There is no perfection, is the reality. Never has been, never will be. Okay. This is what the human does. It's not going to stop now because we have a McDonald's and a Burger King. Do you see? The human is the human. So it's really interesting to see it and see how the people respond to it. And the people are so in awe because of sex. And it shows the immaturity levels of the lower classes, shall we say. The lower classes look at sex as, oh, it's not supposed to be done. Oh, he's fucking the girl. Oh, the girl doesn't like sex. Oh, and all these stupid ass social complexes people got. You see? Guess what? Sex is a natural thing. There's no church in the wild. Sex is going to happen. Okay? Let's grow the fuck up. Okay? Birds do it. Okay? All mammals do it. Okay? The water animals do it. They mate. This is what it's called. They mate. Now, one thing about the human paradigm is, their mind is very complex, and we develop a lot of social litigations, social boundaries about certain things. Things are certain taboo. What you shouldn't do, what you can't do, what the class agrees upon. Okay, pertaining to culture. So, when you go down to Aztec, for instance, when when the Spaniards encountered the Aztecs, they had a whole priestly system of hierarchy of fucking on boys. That's what they did. And they thought it was okay to do it. And they built rules around doing that. Guess what? The same with Greece and their pederasties. Same shit. You see? So these things have been going on for eons. Can you stop it? No, you can't stop it. You can attempt to stop it and try to place yourself in the realm of good, as good. Well, good is a system of basically stagnation. We're going to, there isn't really, there's a lot of growth within the good. I will say that, because there's invention, but usually invention is created off of traumatic experiences, okay, which are similar to these paradigms. You see what I'm saying? So you got this weird thing where, and you can find this in tribes, you can find this in all cultures, where there's some taboo thing around the sex. And why is it taboo? Because you're dealing with the alien. The uterus is alien. Oh yeah, and you better order now because I only got 2 copies left. Okay, so you better go to the Alchemy of Women. Okay, the womansalchemy.com. I'm putting the website up in here right now, and purchase, because they're already gone. They're about to be gone. I only have 2 copies left. I mean, 2 full sets left. So it's phenomenal. The whole thing, this bitch ass nigga, I mean, P. Diddy. And the reason why I say that is because of the way you treated people. The first red flag to the public was when you get out here delivering, making these niggas walk for a cheesecake and say, oh, you pretty extreme, homie. But extreme and extreme activities have always been inside the realm of art and music for eons, since Greece. If you study theater, if you study art, or orchestra, and the ancient ways of teaching how to play a violin or a saxophone or a piano, I mean, it isn't even that ancient. My grandfather, you know, when he was teaching my father how to play the piano, just the last generation, you hit the wrong note, you got hit on your hand with the ruler to enforce the mind to hit the right note. Now, maybe we don't have to do that today, or that's considered to be abuse today, but you don't got people who know how to play instruments anymore. So maybe that is a part of the system of developing fine art when it comes to ballet, when it comes to opera, when it comes to singing. There are a lot of extremities put in place to enforce one, to develop a high level skill, which will turn you into a legend, which will turn you into the master, the expert, the specialist in that field. And it's always been like that. And we don't have those systems in place today. And guess what? Your art is fucking trash. And everybody's complaining. Everybody's depending on some form of electricity when it comes to, um, making beats, or, hiding your voice with the whole vocoder shit in order to develop your art or to put out music. And your shit is not fucking music, and that shit is fucking garbage. Your shit is the invitation and the rewiring of the human mind to break it down from its natural scope, to invite the robot and all this AI shit and think all this fucking whack ass shit is cool. And look at what you got. They're trying to destroy art overall. They went all the way from the R. Kelly to the Puff Daddy. They lock everybody up about the booty. Okay. And it's phenomenal because, see, what's really going on, there's another line here that's going on. And this wasn't the case with R. Kelly, because R. Kelly had pedo problems going on, but he was molested. So, and what happens with the psyche is that when you're victimized, you want to also create the victim. So in this space, I gotta say what's really going on. What's really going on here is called dominance. The power of dominance. And the power of dominance is first exhibited. Well, the highest level is going to be the attaining of a woman, a beautiful woman, because there's ranks here. The most beautiful women, and when you have the most beautiful women in the highest level of submission, this is called the conquering. This is called a level of power by dominance, especially when she's happy. Okay, because a woman's happiness is the strongest power on the planet. So you make the woman happy, and you buy the Rolls Royce, you do all of this other stuff, but you have to have the animal dominance over. And when you have that animal dominance, you get the submission. What is the submission? The submission is getting oxytocin out of the uterus. If you don't tap the ball in the back, and if you don't, and you're not going to be able to really do this with girls who got a bunch of babies and all this other shit, because their eggs have been affected, their mind has been affected, blah, blah, blah. They are a mixture of other males once that has occurred, once they've given birth. So if you get the oxytocin out the back, they're going to automatically fall into the submission. What you have to understand about humans is that they are chemically operated, they're chemically controlled. Humans are chemically controlled. And this is proof by testosterone and estrogen. You could just study those sciences in between male and female, and you'll see for yourself. A female who has too much testosterone, she'll grow a beard, she'll grow a mustache, so on and so forth. Okay. So you get the dominance out of the women, which is the limit for the heterosexual. You understand? Now you have other areas of having power over humans. Okay. Now, when it comes to violence, this is another area. The violence is individuals like the great Mike Tyson. He has proven to the world that he can kick everybody's fucking ass that steps into a ring with him. And that is a level of power and dominance that he has attained, and he is respected in that field. But if you look at other individuals, Evander Holyfield, Floyd Mayweather, um, George Foreman, Sonny Liston, there's a long line of them. Muhammad Ali, there's a long line of them. They have also attained the same right by repeatedly beating males down in the public light, which makes them feared and revered. Okay. This is another form of dominance. Now, when you go into the ancient world and you want to talk about, say, the geishas or the samurais of ancient Japan, they utilized their highest level of dominance. They got it from conquering other males in the sexual format, you see. And they also did that shit in Greece, you see. And you can see this also in Sparta, okay? And this was their mechanism of developing militaries as well, you see. And that's why there's quote unquote that whole lane inside the whole Navy thing, okay? Now, those are the highest levels of dominance. What you got to understand is that when your dominance gets stripped from you, say that you were abused as a child, you go into a tirade of never being satisfied, and once you've never satisfied. So it doesn't matter about the sexual realm, the other realms will activate, because now we have a different level of dominance that can be expressed, which is called finances. So niggas go into that realm. And they also do the other realm, because guess what? They're never satisfied. They're looking for the highest level of power, to be the greatest King Kong on the fucking planet. They're not satisfied with their position, because they'll never get back what has been stripped from them. Okay. This happens to a lot of children. Okay. Here in America, this is one of the root vices that created a lot of the corporations you see, that created a lot of the inventions that you see, was individuals who wanted to get away from where and how they were abused. And the number one way to do that is as the top form of revenge is success. Okay. So you go get the success. And that's, the Jeff Bezos level. This is the Bill Gates level. This is the Warren Buffett level, the Puffy level, okay, as we see. And they want to have the yachts, and they want to stick out their chest amongst their peer group and tell everybody, I am the greatest, I am the strongest, I am the most vile, and I will do whatever the fuck I want to. As a matter of fact, you go do this, you go do that. There's other levels, there's inferior levels of attaining this type of power. Your manager at your local Taco Bell wants to exhibit this same level of power, okay, by telling other people what to do and having control over other people. Now, when you go into the deep lines of this, you see what's really going on. And what's really going on historically is that there's always been a division of people who are naturally more respectful and more intellectual versus people who are more barbaric and, filled with the debauch act. Now, that's why America was, it was eminent for America to blow up or to deteriorate from the inside out, is because we erased these titles. We don't understand the systems. So, we have royal bloodlines that are working in the Walmart, that are also working next to the degenerate motherfucker that comes from 20 generations of being a bum and being a beggar and being violent and being abusive amongst their own group and family, versus the royal who was raised in a semi you know respectful environment that expressed disciplinary action when need be, not abuse. Okay, you got disciplined, you were disciplined to fit inside the social paradigm. You weren't disciplined for somebody else's euphoric need, because people who are abused, they feel as if when they go out to the world, they feel as if they want to once again feel that same level of abuse. That's where shit talking comes from. Shit talking comes from a level of people talk shit to you, your parents, most likely your loved ones talk shit to you as a child, And now you want to go out into the world and talk the same level of shit, and you don't expect for things to happen back, But shit talking is actually a vice. It is a uh, boundary and a barrier that will fuck up your progression lines. Okay. You will not be successful as being a shit talker. Now this also depends because it's certain social classes on how they operate. If you're in a secret society, or if you're in a society or in a brotherhood, and y'all are talking shit for the element of growth, because steel sharpens steel type of thing, then it's all to the good, because we're making sure that each other is tough to face the world together. Sort of like NFL when they're practicing before they go to a game. When the NFL or even the NBA or even the baseball, you best believe that teammates talk shit during their forms of practice in order to sharpen their game for when they play the game. You see, so that is okay in that realm. But when you go to a job and or when you're with her, a female gets with her mate and she had been physically and verbally abused, and she thinks she can carry on that same mentality inside of a relationship, male and female, it's going to fuck up everything if that male is a progressive mentality. If that male is in a space of entrepreneurship and trying to get things done, a female that talks shit or thinks being nasty is cute and all this other shit is going to fuck you up. Like it says in the Bible, it is better to live in the desert. It is better to live on the roof of the house than inside the house with the nagging woman. Okay. And that's what we're talking about. And to even go into a deeper side of why a female may act like that is not necessarily because of her father. It's because of what mothers do to their daughters. Okay. Now this goes into a uterus is alien understanding, because once the older uterus understands that the younger uterus is in the is produced, there's automatically a jealous line that is produced here. You know. Uh yeah, I gotta say something about the Diddy thing, but I'm going into the complexes of superiority and inferiority and violence and trauma and all of this other stuff, because that's really what you're looking at. And it's good for you to know what you're looking at instead of just going off on the news. Okay. So back to what I was stating, the mother gets jealous of the daughter because the father is now going to pay more attention to the precious daughter, who is chaste, who is a virgin, who is a part of him, a part of what he produced. And he wants to treat the little princess like everything and buy everything for the princess. And now attention towards the older woman has now decreased. Okay. Which gives her her first sign of her beauty diminishing, as a lot of women don't want to have babies because of stretch marks and things of this nature. And you better watch out for any female that's out here calling her child a crotch goblin, because you best believe that stupid bitch right there already has a mentality of abuse towards her children. Okay, especially any female who has any problem with any male or hates on a man or things like that, she's gonna abuse her son and neglect her son and try to convert her son into some tranny shit or some other shit that is now available in society, in which they're shutting down, and they will, because I am here and they know goddamn well I don't support that fucking dumb shit. And you're not at the science level to comprehend the true intricacies of what a human is. Okay, and there's far more things that make up a male or a female than just their genitalia. Okay, so those things, the human is nowhere near those type of sciences. So stop your shit. We're not your lab rats to another human. As a matter of fact, you have too many problems on your fucking planet to be focusing on the genitalia. Okay, your ocean is fucked up, your air is fucked up, you got fucking what is it, chemtrails every goddamn day, you got motherfuckers over here, the tattoos every goddamn where, you got a lot of dumbass moving that needs control, you know. And it needs to be stopped, it needs to be put to a complete halt, because it's nothing but deterioration, and that's not what we're here for. It's against what the planet does. The planet grows. Everything on the planet has to grow. Okay, whether that be a tadpole, a dandelion, whatever the fuck, it all is designed to grow. Okay, and then it's also designed to defend itself, and it's also designed to battle other species. Okay, sometimes to eat or to stay alive. Okay, and that's what this paradigm is. You see what I'm saying? So with this whole Diddy situation, it's ugly, you know, but he set himself up for it. The metaphysics is definitely there with the releasing of the Life After Death album on the same day um that he got arrested. You know, he destroyed all of his artists. Obviously, you don't hear from none of them. You know, thank God Mace made it out. And he's still standing and looking healthy and getting his money. You know, that's a beautiful thing. But all the other artists that was up underneath Diddy is garbage. You know, you get what you sow, you reap what you sow, and that's what Diddy reaped. So that's what he's going to sow. I mean, that's what he sowed, so that's what he reaped. Sorry about that. And that's also the same with the Suge Knight sitting up in the penitentiary right now. Okay, and he's been there for years already. You know, same with what's going on with Young Thug. You know, you wanted to use the title Young Thug, which the word thug comes from the assassins um, of ancient India, and you fucked around and tried to wear a dress, and you tried to um, would you want to encourage or you supported confusion amongst younger males, and everybody who has done that has been taken down. That's why you got to give kudos to the West Coast MCs, because you don't hear none of that shit coming out of the West Coast niggas. You East Coast niggas got problems. There's a lot of problems. You have problems with the butt. You understand? And it needs to be addressed, and you niggas need to fix that shit. And that is an internal problem with your hip hop kingdom over there in New York specifically. We can't drag that energy to New Jersey because the New Jersey niggas is different. You understand? And you Atlanta niggas got the same fucking problems. You know what I'm saying? So hold on real quick. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to maintain the household. You know, it's getting late up in here. But yeah, it's if y'all got something to say, go ahead and blow up the comments. I'm responding to comments right now. And the situation is ugly. I mean, it's ugly for him. It makes my day feel a lot better because I'm not going through that dumb shit. Because I already know what it is with niggas. Niggas got these problems, you know. Niggas got a lot of bird issues involved, and they love the penitentiary, they love the gang life and being around a bunch of niggas. I'm not with that shit. You understand? Never have, never will be. You dig what I'm saying? Niggas got problems, and that's part of the reason why I wrote the Black Man's Bible. That's the reason why it ended with the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women. Nigga, get to the pussy, nigga. What the fuck is the problem here? You know yeah, rap came from the Five Blows, which predates America, you know and it's the French Five Blows, and well, Five Blow is a French word, shall I say. And the Five Blows, and France was known to be bird, and they were the ones who also started the fencing. Knights looked at fencing as some bird shit, and the France was, but they were also esteemed as the greatest warriors of the greatest military during the entire medieval times, and that sort of ended with Napoleon Bonaparte, and that's why he is esteemed in history as he is, and there was the whole cuckold thing. I was going to do a review on that movie Napoleon. I did go see it, and it was a good movie. It was actually a lot longer than what was brought to the theater, because Napoleon has a very long list of his achievements, and they couldn't put all of them in the film, of course. And there was a lot of reviews I was gonna do recently. I also saw that movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, which is definitely a reasoning why I wrote the Kicked Out of Heaven, because y'all niggas don't know what you're dealing with, and y'all niggas don't know how these white males will move on you, and they will move on you, okay? And they will move in a lot of different, unique ways, and you don't know, and that's the whole thing. See, me, I don't have a problem with trying to tell you what you should know. My thing is I will come into a situation and say I don't know. I have no problem with that. I love saying I don't know because it removes any weight. It removes any responsibility that you think you can apply to me. It removes all that shit. I'm not going to be sitting up here talking about I know some shit that I don't know so I can impose to be great to a fucking stranger who don't mean shit. Like, see, that's the whole thing. Once I wrote that medieval, like the power or the responsibility people think one is supposed to have to think another human or person is great completely dropped out of me. I don't think motherfuckers is great out here. Like, why would I do that to myself? Why would you do it? I don't think like, what, nigga? No, the majority of these motherfuckers is not great. Look at the bridge and what happened in Brooklyn. That shit looked intentional in the motherfucker. Everything that you're looking at right now is intentional. You don't even know what you're looking at. They talk about the drones and the robots been performing. Michael Jackson been dead since 1979 or 2005. All this old fucking crazy ass shit. Who cares, nigga? Your shit is fucking retarded. Okay? That's all there is to it. I write off all that dumbass shit. I don't put my head involved in none of your fucking spider web because you motherfuckers are stupid and you're doing senseless ass shit. And it has no meaning. What is the reasoning behind it? Tell me, what's the reasoning? None. You have no reasoning. There is no Z point. There is no gain. There is no adjustment to the finances that I'm getting. So I don't give a fuck about your conspiracy theory bullshit. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking P. Diddy. Man, that shit ain't got shit to do with me. You understand? But it's very interesting on what's occurring and how it's occurring, and we should examine it. To the what the information is being brought, the evidence bag being entered into court. That's about it. We're not gonna go into a bunch of goddamn conspiracy theories. Like, you get on your TikTok and there's a million motherfuckers out here trying to get all types of views and think you the brand new CNN cast motherfucker. Who cares? You know nothing. Who gives a fuck about what's on this nigga's court papers? Because guess what? You aren't the judge and you can't pass no sentencing. So who cares? You see? That's what I'm saying. They got you involved in all this dumbass shit. And then we don't even know who the president's about to be. They trying to lock up the only person that's out here with a presidential campaign and can finance his own. That's Trump. You don't see nobody else out here. It's not a repetitive thing on CNN, Fox, and they're not talking about no Biden or none of that shit because they know you are the generation that we raised to be the dumbass. You were raised on the Beavis and the Butthead. You were raised on the Ren and Stimpy. You were raised on the Pee Wee Herman. You were raised on the Nickelodeon, and they got the Nickelodeon documentary out here right now, right? And that's what you were raised on. So we know you're stupid. We know you like the orange soda. We know that you sat down with your children and watched the SpongeBob. We know that you do not put anything of any important information inside of your mind. So we know. And therefore we can hide these things. Therefore we know that a lot of you weren't popular during high school and you want your popularity now, and you seek your popularity by trying to present the most outrageous conspiracy theory information to your friends, and you want to feel important. I love it when and that's why I just be chilling sometimes, because when you go out here, man, especially in Vegas, and I love Vegas, nigga, we supposed to get to the bag together. Oh, you got the bag, but everybody bragging about how they got the bag and how Brad Pitt is their cousin, and they was just smoking weed with Angelina Jolie last week, and they were in the big mansion doing this and that. But you have no proof, so shut the fuck up, because I don't give a fuck. You think you bragging to me, nigga? You not bragging about a goddamn thing. You understand? Like, I could sit up here and say, oh yeah, my books are here, my books are there, and I made this much, and I've seen this much, and I did this and I did that. Who cares? I didn't do those things for admiration. I don't believe in human worship. I don't worship another fucking human. You know. So I don't. I did those things to let you know you could do it as well. You know, I saw a lot of traumatic. I went through a lot of traumatic experiences with having my children and with my son Master being delivered inside of a hospital. So I took matters into my own hands. It's really as simple as that. And yes, I recorded it to let you know that you can do this as well. It's really that simple. I didn't record it for you to get down and shine my shoes when I walk inside of a room. you know. And a lot of people want to sit here and brag 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 all goddamn day. Like somebody's gonna be fucking shining your shoes. I don't give a fuck about your cameos on your Instagram, bro. For real. Like my mind doesn't work like that. You are not of any form of importance. You have done nothing for mankind. You do not produce, and you do not provide. So because you don't produce and you don't provide, your your statements, your thoughts, your suggestions are considered by maybe 10%. It's sort of like a write-off. Like, why would you do that? you know uh I got a question here. What are your views or say on astrocartography? I don't think that was listed in the studies of high sciences. No, I don't know what an astrocartography is. It's really that simple. There's a million sciences out here. Maybe that science is for you to study. I don't know what that is. And that's the whole thing. I don't sit here just because I got the name the God 720. I don't sit here and act like I know all be all, whatever the fuck. And a lot of people take my name like I'm trying to say that. Nah, this name was given to me when my baby moms made the YouTube page that I initially started off of. And that's the only reason because we were calling each other God and Goddess at that time in our relationship. I believe in, pushing a person forward, making a person great. Let's see what your skills are. Let's see what you like. Let's get you involved in that. Let's, move to the next layer. But a lot of people do not like that because they've never been shown that by their own parents. Okay. So they'll immediately get jealous. Um, no, that's fine. You asked. That's cool. You asked about it, and I don't know anything about that subject. So, you're good. Everybody can ask a question, and you have to do that, but I don't know what that is. So, there's no offense taken, nor no offense given, and a lot of people don't like to be pushed ahead. A lot of people don't like to um for you to say, hey, maybe you're good at this, hey, maybe you should do that, or maybe it's maybe not the setting, or maybe it's not the time for those things to be presented to them. So for instance, when a person walks in my life, especially with what I know now, I go ahead and figure out what your matrix is so I can understand what your point is. And usually when you find out a person's matrix system, they just disappear on you because I guess you went down to the root mechanisms of existence and sort of like altered their wiring, with what was supposed to happen with your life, with you two being involved with each other. But if you can't handle that level of information, it's like, I don't know what to do with you. The majority of people, I'm not the only person on the planet that understands these things. There's a lot of people who do, but they say nothing because, hey, you have to base it off of nature. And what goes on in nature is what you will naturally do. So some people are not naturally at certain levels of intellect because they don't seek it, because it's not natural for them to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, that's why you have to respect the whole process of an application getting on a job. When you sign up on the application, you wanted to come here to get the money from me. So you will go through this training. and you will do the things that are explained to you on this training in order for you to get what you want, which is money. You see how that works? I don't care about your bloodline. I don't care about how you were abused as a child. I don't care about what your name means. I don't care about how many children you have or what your relationship issues are. I don't care about none of that. I have a job. I have things I need done. You want money. I can provide you money. You provide me the work, and we're going to keep it like that. And that is the level of communication that the white race has with the native, is through the application. And we don't give a fuck about whatever the fuck is going on with you, you know. And that's just the point. You see what I'm saying? So what you will naturally do is what you will naturally do. If you have demonic act inside you, then it will show, like what it showed with the Puffy or even the African Bombata. Why ain't they took that nigga down? The African Bombata, right? That was a crazy situation, and they never fully investigated that. And I guess he didn't have mansions and was part of this whole sex trafficking thing. They say this human trafficking and this sex trafficking thing, or slavery trafficking or whatever the fuck, is making more money than guns and drugs on the planet right now when it comes to the totality of it. Everybody wants to express or feel this level of power, which the first layer of power is going to be by attaining. It's going to be done by manipulation and coercion. And that's why corporations survive at the levels that they survive at, is because they have manipulated you and coerced you to come inside their store and to purchase. Okay. And whether that's done by scent, whether that's done by imagery, advertising, marketing, things of that nature, we got you. And that's the point. And you have dedicated your blood, sweat, and tears, which is symbolized inside your money, because there's not a job that you're going to work on that where you don't prick a little bit of blood, whether that be, a paper cut, whether that be, a box landed on your foot or something, blood, sweat, and tears is going to be involved in whatever job you work at. It's going to occur. You may trip over the threshold of a door. You're a lawyer. You scabbed your knee. It's going to happen. Because it's a part of the metaphysics of how jobs are sustained. Okay. And you take your hard-earned money and you go and spend it with the company because you've been coerced and manipulated to do so, and they attain your energy from there. And the more human energy that we attain, the more solid the business is going to stand, and then the business lasts for hundreds and hundreds of years. Yeah, they got Diddy got pictures with the Harry and the all types of niggas is getting locked up around that nigga. But that's okay. It's not my problem. I don't give a fuck. I'm sleeping easy tonight, my nigga. And if you experience jail at a very young age, that's not really an environment that you want to be in. But even though there's some people who have experienced jail at a young age and they don't give a fuck. They will go back to that same environment. Maybe they like it. Maybe they don't have an environment, or they have felt any form of love on the outside. So when you didn't already felt love from a woman at a young age, you ain't finna go inside no jail, my nigga. Okay. When you feel that dedication and that power and see them bouncing tits, nigga, and you smell all that, the essence and the lotion she wears, and she's smelling like a flower and shit. Nigga, you ain't finna sit up in no fucking concrete box around no niggas. Like, what the fuck? And then the complexity. There's a lot of social complexity that comes with a lot of these things. There's a lot of, the group kills the group inside the group. And I don't fuck with groups. Whether your group be a religion, whether your group be, the brotherhood at school, the little gang, the clique. I don't fuck with no groups. I don't need to. I don't see the necessity of it. Even though it is a mammalian thing, there's not one animal in the mammal kingdom that doesn't operate in a group. Birds operate in groups. The fish, they operate in groups. These are our animal thinking levels. When you are at the level of the human thought, you enforce humanism by being individual. And maintaining a mentality of individualism, and that is also with the respect of other individuals. Okay, and you've learned that because history will teach you that every real man has a study and reads their literature. You know, and actually, I'm in a space right now where I gotta forget and stop applying things. So I gotta go through a phase right now of no reading, no writing, you know, because I've gotten too far. And like I say, like I've stated, when a person walks into your life, you want to I put down the matrix system. Okay, nigga, what is the definition of your name, nigga? What's your Chinese astrology? What's your astrology, nigga? Where were you born? Give me some experience, all of that other shit. And when you find out their mechanisms and how they operate, they usually just disappear. Boop, they'll disappear out of the picture. You know, and the reason why they'll disappear out of the picture is because you basically digitize them out of your existence by understanding what they are and who they are. But ever since I wrote this witchcraft one, the volume 2, you know, I've had to go through spaces of understanding what type of females come around me and who done sent your ass, whether it was the god or the devil. Now, I don't, a lot of males listen to me and think they can take my experiences and how I speak and apply it to them, and I wouldn't do that. We all have our own fucking shoes. Please respect that line. Well, you know, and I'm not putting that in the space of I'm superior thinker than you. No, that's not what's going on. What's going on is we all come from different environments and you have different experiences, and you need to utilize your experiences for your thinking process. There is no way you think you can listen to my music or copy what I'm saying or, you know, rewind my videos a million times and memorize what I'm saying and think you can attain the same level of thought and the same level of output. Is not going to work like that. My experiences are different. My decision making is different. My reliance upon myself is different. Yours is too. And that's all respectful. That's a beautiful thing. You should operate like that for what you know. You know, you can apply certain things and go ahead and do your trial and error if you want to step inside the air, inside the space of being the scientist, you know, and which you should do. We all live in a social space. We have to communicate. That's what socialism is, and human behavior is a big part of that. So, you know, you can put down your own little tests and things, but I put down mechanisms in the Black Man's Bible, which homie over here in the comments is supporting very strong. As a matter of fact, I showed a Black Man's Bible to a white woman today because she has mixed sons and she feels a little bit lost about what to do with them. So I said, hey, well, this is the program. Even though the in-depth program for the light skin, for those who are children of interracial couples, is found in the Voodoo edition, because the light skin has a very unique picture and they have a different level of experience than what the brown skin or the dark skin African American has. Okay, and that needs to be known. Okay, so there is a different line. The interracial child, you know, should approach the the Black Man's Bible. May be good for you, but the real software of your mechanism and your operation is going to be found in the Voodoo edition. Okay, and that's because the light skin was created. They were the last race created on the planet, and that was done in the Caribbean. Okay, so there's a unique picture there. But anyways, um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the Black Man's Bible. Go to the blackmansbible.com, read that book. There's a lot of sciences in there to begin your journey of a different eyesight or a different comprehension of existence where the brutality isn't needed. You know, a lot of people approach things very violently and it's not needed. You know, me, I operate off of love, always have, always will. And within that space, I understand that the unpredictability of the average human is very violent, is very, you know, it's in the space of stupidity, because violence and stupidity are both equal. They're one and the same. You know, the majority of people are violent because they can't because they can't communicate what they want to express. And And it becomes a conundrum in the mind, and the only way they can uh express it is through violence and through destruction, as the caveman will destroy what he does not know. Okay. And that is also, defense, so we have a lot of things here. Like I was saying, it was obviously natural for Puffy to operate in this format. There could be traumas there. Supposedly his father was a snitch. Supposedly his father was running with Nicky Barnes and doing the heroin thing and all this other shit. There was a TikTok I saw by Gene Deal talking about how Puffy slapped his own mom and shit like that. And there could be traumas there that we don't understand. But then again, he was definitely put in a financial space where he could approach those things and control those things. But as I stated earlier, they fall into a space of never being satisfied. Okay. And I've been ridiculed as never being satisfied as well, because of my drive or my hunger to achieve certain things and to have certain things underneath my belt. And when it comes to this rap game, which a lot of people wanted to see me in the rap game, nigga, I seen this shit eons ago. You see that? You see? So I make good music, and I make good music for the preservation of good music and good sound, and I've done that for a multitude of genres. Okay. That is EDM, that is rock and roll, that is rap, that is Southern rap, West Coast rap, East Coast rap. I've done all of those. Okay. And I preserved originality in those areas. And everything that I spoke on in those songs are valid as a part of my experience and a part of the standard experience. And that's the lane that I wanted to touch in producing music. And I also understood a very long time ago that Hollywood demands a lot of crazy fucking shit, a lot of soul ripping shit. And it's evidence in comparison of my 12 albums versus anybody else in the game. You take my 12 albums and match them up against any other 12 albums, and you will not hear the consistency and the other people. You will not hear the power that you have consistently heard throughout all of my albums. And the reason and why is because they were dealing with all types of dumb shit in the backdrop. And Hollywood is specifically designed, when it comes to black males, to strip you of whatever talents that you may think you can bring to the game. That's how Hollywood is set up. And we have seen it. That's why the majority of the artists, including rap artists, their first album is the shit. And then after that first album, the shit goes down the drain. And the reason, or when you get high level notoriety, that's when you start getting attacked, and they start asking, oh, could you do this? Well, why don't you do this? Well, why don't you put on you need to put some makeup on for the camera. Don't worry about it. Oh, after we put on makeup on your face for, a couple of years because you're in front of the camera. Oh, can you slip on the dress for us? Can you wear the high heels? Put on some lipstick, blah, blah, blah. Before you know it, you're a bitch. Before you know it, you have no heart to produce anything. Now, when it comes to the majority of black males in Hollywood, you can obviously see that they've altered what black culture is. And the reasoning being is because the majority of black households don't have fathers there who can shield this type of influence on the children. So the children go out to society and they want to be in sync with society. And in order to be in sync with society, they're going to align with the gods of the pantheon. And the gods of the pantheon are going to be your superstars, whether that be sports superstars, whether that be musician superstars, so on and so forth. Actors, the superstars. And once you're aligned with that, guess what? You don't know what you're aligned with. Huh? Because when you see an actor on a movie, you only seen him for that hour and a half. That movie may have taken a year, 2 years to develop. You don't know what the fuck they were going on during the course of inculcating the energy of that the person in the script, the main character in the script. Okay, when an actor takes on a main character in the script, they have to inculcate that energy. They got to go study up underneath somebody who really plays that role, or maybe even a multitude of individuals. Okay, and this is what you saw with Denzel Washington in Training Day. This is what you saw with any movie. Period. They have to do that because that is called the training for your role. You see, so you don't know what motherfuckers is going through. Like a clip Mike Epps said on a clip recently. That nigga said he was on cocaine in all of his movies. You didn't know that until he said it. So you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. And then let's go down to the reality of it. The reality of it is that black culture in America is all the behaviors that you see, whether that be the spirit of what is inside the Sexy Red operation, or the spirit of the fiend, which is definitely found in the Kicked Out of Heaven, or the spirit of alcoholism, which comes from Western culture, is not really a thing that this is a brand new energy for African Americans. The spirit of dancing or break dancing. These things are all operations that were inculcated inside black culture by a lot of rituals that occurred in the early during slave times, and that bridge coming out of slave times into the new paradigm that we're in now. So that's basically like 1800 to like 1900, where there was a lot of specific rituals done on slaves during lynchings. As a matter of fact, I got a picture of one in the book. You must see it. Here we go. Okay, now this ritual was explained in the TV show American Gods, in the voodoo episode, which is definitely a was mirroring me, because they was talking about going down to the medieval and facing death and all this other shit. So I gotta watch out for a lot of shit because these motherfuckers be utilizing my first name, my last name, all types of shit. You've seen it for fucking years. Them niggas always using the number 72 all up in their news clips and all types of crazy ass shit. So let me see if I can find this shit real quick for y'all. This one was most definitely probably a ritual. I don't know which spirit was behind it. But that one right there, which is a popular picture we've all seen, right? So we don't know what ritual was done with that one, but a lot of these were done with were rituals, and I'm gonna show you the lynching that created the spirit behind the crackhead. Okay, and this is thoroughly explained inside the American Gods. Here it is, right here. Will James. And what's so crazy is that it was done in Cairo, Illinois. Y'all know where Cairo comes from, right? You see that? That's his head on the pike. You see? You see that? So we don't know. You see this in Cairo, Illinois. Okay, you see that? 1907. You see? So this situation right here created the spirit behind the crackhead. Okay. And it's explained in American Gods season 2 in the voodoo episode. Okay. So and I thought that was really interesting because when I saw it, I had just got done writing the 3 volumes and whatnot, and it was just really hitting me, the whole situation. And then there was another one that they're talking about, and I love what's going on with film in this space because they're definitely breaking these rituals, and the murder and the destruction of the black household that goes on inside the West Coast, specifically LA and all of California. Um you see that with this show called Them on Amazon Prime. I suggest you go watch that shit because boy, that show is on fucking point. Whoever wrote it, whoever produced it, everybody deserves awards. everybody deserves, the highest level of accreditation with the production of that show. Fucking phenomenal. And it's really wanting me to go down the lane of film, because right now what we're really battling is the media, okay? Which I've broken down that whole science before, and all this Tyler Perry bullshit that we're still bouncing off of, which who knows, I from what I've heard is that, you know, the show was actually demonizing a lot of black males in the space of sexuality. But look at what we see now. We don't know if these allegations are true. We don't know, you know, we don't know what the fuck is going on in Hollywood. And that is the bottom line. What you have to understand is that Hollywood is Hollywood. So anything that you look at behind this thin glass has a high percentage to be false. It has a high percentage to be actors. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the news. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the NFL, the sports. It don't matter if you're looking at what. It doesn't matter. Everything behind the glass has a high percentage to be fucking bullshit. We don't know if Puffy is fucking really Puffy or if there is a real Puffy. We don't know. You don't know. You've never shook his hand. You don't know if it's real. You've never seen this motherfucker before. It's all some shit on a fucking screen. The fucking screen. That's all it is. We don't know if it's real. My shit is real because you can purchase the books and my name is all over them. Whether it be the God 720, whether it's Keenan Booker, you see my shit. It's real. I'm real. You see me out in the streets talking to the leprechaun. Did you see the video? That was a very heavy day for me, St. Patrick's Day. There was a lot of ritualistic shit falling out of the matrix on a nigga. And that's because I live in the bowels of it. Okay. And don't be attaining that to your mind as if you live in the same structure I do. When it comes to this kicked out of heaven shit, I had to read, those books like 5 times over. And it was about 100 to 150 different books that I had to read. So that information is in my structure, you understand? And it's some very deep level shit. So for the people who have read it, I'm proud of you. It was designed to be great beast for you to conquer. And now that you have conquered a 3-volume series, there's no other literature out here that will fear you, that will develop a fear like, oh, that book too big, or oh no, I ain't got the time, or no, now you're in a position of I could take that on. It's nothing. Let me get it. And that is the mentality that needs to be attained. Okay. So because you read it one time, you may have went through some lightweight experiences, but you have to understand that when I was writing it and reading all the material to put it together, I'd walk certain places and white people would jump at me like, holy shit. Like, yeah, because they could see me now and I can see you. And it sort of like ripped a little line in my aura and I could see a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't like to get to talking about high level sciences like that, because a lot of people's minds aren't developed or based enough to comprehend them into a real space. And they lose their mind. And as you have seen throughout the years, I've been able to take on high level subjects, whether that be esoteric, occultism, whatever the case, and be able to explain them and maintain my sanity. Okay. A lot of people can't even encounter one fucking conspiracy theory and they go fucking off the rockers. And because a lot of people use these things as excuses to evade their responsibilities as an adult. And that's what I call facing the unknown syndrome, which is a very big problem with my generation right now. A lot of people in my generation, they don't know what to do when it comes to adult responsibilities. So they indirectly, and this is the thing that goes on heavy with the gangs. And what goes on with the gangs is niggas know that they're getting older now. They've done their gang shit. There's really nothing to rely on when it comes to finances. They've been in jail for 15, 20 years. They don't know what to do with a woman. So they don't know where to go, they don't know what to do, and you're standing on the edge of potentially becoming a bum. So they don't want to go down the bum space. So if they do go down to the bum space, they'll indirectly choose a vice that will cover the whole element of not knowing how to contribute to society and maintain yourself in it. And this element may be liquor. It could be excessive drugs, fentanyl, crystal meth, heroin, all this other crazy shit, Percocets. A lot of people use partying to hide themselves from their responsibilities as an adult and not knowing how to maintain their environment or maintain a household. And they also don't have a respect towards authority, which is something that they saw in a single mother environment. And we witness that when we look at these videos on TikTok of women who encounter the police and they think they can scream help and they think they can tell the cops to don't touch me and all this other shit. And what's happening here, you got to understand psychology. And when you've read so many different areas of human response in psychology and how people move and behavior, you can develop what's really going on. And this is what's really going on. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of black males out here that don't know what to do with their future. They haven't been raised to understand how to contribute to society nor to maintain their home. So they also hide in the space of rapping. They also hide in the space of partying. They try to hide in the space of pushing their rap career to try to, make their girl or their woman believe that they're actually doing something positive or producing something. You're not producing, you see. By the age of 30, when 30 hit for me, I had just moved to Vegas. Me, myself, I was in the same space. I had read a ton of books. I understood that. I studied the pimp game. I was done with the pimping because I don't want to, you go through certain phases in life to learn certain things. That doesn't mean that you carry on with them forever. We all grow up and fucking mature, but everybody expects for black males to stay in the same boat forever. So just because I pimped for a couple of years, motherfuckers be acting like I was supposed to do that for the rest of my life. No, we're not going to do that for the rest of my life. You want to know why? Because the female is a human that talks and thinks and they make their own decisions. You see what I'm saying? And then there's loyalty and all this other shit and all these weird dynamics of thinking that you have to dealing with the female. Now, fuck all of that shit, nigga. I will develop a product that does not breathe. Do you understand? The product that goes on the shelf and I get paid. And what you have to understand about products is, yes, I'm gonna put it on Amazon. A lot of people, a lot of black authors have come at me and they write a book and expect to sell it on the block. That's not power. That's not how you're going to attain a repetition on it forever. You do it by a royalty, and your royalty is going to be pennies on the dollar. But guess what? If you are only receiving 5 cents for every fucking product you sold, your expectation is to sell 1 million of those products. That's why I love the book game, because there's a lot of different ways to do it. Now, you can depend on a service, but don't depend on a service because you have to depend on yourself. You see, in a service, if you break your arm or something, your services are done. Okay? If somebody doesn't need your services are done. That's why I wrote books of a multitude of different subjects that are solutions to a problem. And every solution to a problem is going to be what? Do it yourself, you fucking bum. The solution is going to be do it yourself. And that's what it was in the early days of the mechanic. Father would get out there with his son and teach him how an engine works. Look, we got to do this. This got to be here. This fluid got to be here. Blah, 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 blah. Same with the maintenance of a horse and the horseshoe and cleaning the horse's hooves and all this other shit and having the hay and then making the horses mate. And then what type of horses you're dealing with in the breed and all of this other shit. And what type of horses is designed for what? Just like dogs. Dogs all have different definitions depending upon their breed and what they do pertaining to a human assistance. Okay? And that's the way the game works. All right? So no, I went through the PI game to learn one thing. I learned human resources. I learned time management. I learned money management. Okay, I didn't even pay attention to when working a job. Working a job, you pay your bills, get your little weed, you chill. That's not the money management that you have to be in when it comes to the PI game, which will accelerate once you get into that space, because now you're in a self-sustenance, you're in a self-reliance area. So it's one thing that I did. So the fuck what, grow the fuck up, because everybody that you look at right now, including this country, when I'm talking about success lines, including this government, okay, started their money off of the filth, the dirt. Okay, even when it comes to Mark Cuban, I listened to the story. He was talking about how his first little money was coming through throwing parties in warehouses, okay, and giving everybody a free bottle of champagne when they came through. You see, so there's different ways to do it. You better get to the money. I understood that rap doesn't have money unless you come up in here with some power line and you can make your music survive. And I made my music survive by attaching it to some literature that will always survive, because nobody has ever done it. If you want to stand out, you better be outstanding. Then that's how it works. If you want to be outstanding, then you better stand out from the crowd. You better do something different that nobody else has done. Okay, and that's what the mechanism is. Okay, so I did that. All right, and I'm able to survive. I've been able to maintain houses, cars, and my children with no assistance. Me and my wife, he broke up 3-4 years ago. And I'm doing my thing. Because I set it up like that, and I didn't fall in the space of illusion. Negroes provide a lot of illusion, because every Negro that you've seen out here wearing all these multiple chains, you don't never see them wearing the same chain. For number one. For number two, they always get up on their interviews complaining about how they were robbed. You're the biggest, baddest gangster underneath the sun, but you're being robbed by Harvard kids and kids from Princeton and Berkeley up at the top levels of these corporations. You see, but you were the biggest, baddest gangster with all of the kilos in the world. I don't believe what the fuck is coming out of your mouth. That's why I'm in that space. My parents lied to me about the Jesus Christ and the Christianity, even though I have a different understanding about that now, because I went through the bowels of the origins of where it came from, and what it truly means psychologically. What it truly means in the psychological space. Jesus is a beautiful thing. Christianity is a beautiful thing. You see what I'm saying? The devil in the hell is the psychological spaces that are machinery that makes you operate. Do you understand? And you have to call those things a beautiful thing as well. It's a yin and yang complex. Okay. And true warriors, just like the basis of what the voodoo system is, understands that there is no right and wrong. There is what works. Okay. And some things that the cultural structure, your morality that you've developed over time may go against that, but it works. And that's the point. And these are the areas that are a little bit too complex for the standard mind. As I stated earlier, there will always be people of a higher level of intellect that can comprehend things greater than those who don't. And those who don't usually want to be slaves of those who are at the higher level. And yes, sexual abuse will occur inside those elements. Now, that's what we call it today. In the yesteryear, in the old world, just like even here earlier in America, or even the medieval times or whatever, women understood that, if you needed something done and you can't pay for it monetarily, you're going to have to take it out on that ass. Okay. There's drawings of this shit. There's paintings of this shit. But they also understood that sex was a natural thing and there's no abuse there. But sex can be considered to be abusive and violent, you see, at the same time. But then when you understand the female, and if you've given the female some good thunder, if you have put it underneath the belly button, guess what? You understand that the female's dynamic is she's going to invite that violence. She is going to invite the werewolf. She is going to invite the vampire. And she expects great ravaging, and she does not give a fuck if she survives it or not. Now, I don't know where the bitch ass nigga done came from where they think women gonna rule the goddamn world and these motherfuckers invite violence. They expect it. They invite debauchery. They commit the debauched act. Okay? The maleficia. Okay? That's what's so interesting. But then I understand that they've laid 3-4 generations of single motherism on people. So you automatically by default look at them as a superior. Your brain is wired to hear a female's voice to be the authoritative force and to also lay discipline. So that's why you ain't even got no power structure against your own woman. And now we got the malnutrition gangster out here singing through the fucking electrical microphone. Remember the little electrical microphones they used to give us as a kid? And singing to the bitch and thinking you gonna goddamn and you have no power structure. And they only choosing on little boys. That's why a lot of the rappers got condensed down to little and youngs and babies. Because when me and my niggas was growing up, everybody was big OG this, big T Dog this, big T Bone, OG Tone Loke. All of those were the type of names that we were dealing with when we were growing up. They condensed you niggas down so the bitch can rule over you. Okay? And that's just the fucking reality. It's magic systems being applied here. And don't act like you don't have an inherent system to identify them. I did when I was 13 years old. I saw it immediately when Diddy wants to use life after death, 16 days after Biggie died, and puts this man standing in front of a fucking hearse on the fucking album, nigga. This is mockery, my nigga. And you are now seeing the brunt of your decisions. You are now seeing the consequence of your acts, nigga. The fuck you talking about? You know, they tried to lay the complaints. Biggie's mom was out here talking about she ain't getting no money and all this other shit. Look at it now, brother. You had to sell your Revolt TV. It's gone. All your shit is gone because of who you were laying in bed with. Yeah, there's videotapes and footage of all this other nonsense. And supposedly Homeland Security went to his house to clean up evidence. You know, because you got too many high-level people incorporated. And everybody up there in those levels got cameras on everybody. And everybody's trying to set everybody up for the big fuck off. And that's how it's designed in the higher levels. So if you want 720 to blow, guess what? It shows, because since 2007 and 8, I've been on this thing and I've been doing this thing and I've been producing nonstop music and books and videos and maintaining my family, and there ain't been no police at my door and been in these motherfucking streets, nigga. So I know what to do with the dough. So you need to bring the dough over here if you want me to see, if you want to see me be bigger, because I'm not finna get it from this system, B. This system is chaotic and you don't know who is who, and I trust nan nigga. I trust no one. You understand? I trust no one. Your mouth is a liar. You are a human. And that's the line. That's the line. It's hard for me to cross over that line, you know, but this is what you humans have allowed to develop inside your society with your consistent lies and bullshit. And you think everybody was going to eat off of that. It doesn't work like that, my friend. There will be the defiant one. There will be the revolter. Okay. So if you want to see 720 on higher levels, guess what it's going to take? It's going to take your understanding, your responsibility to put down the finances and the donations for that to occur. Because it's just like what Caucasians do. What Caucasians do is they say, hey, this man has the art. This man has produced material to make me believe that he is the one. We will follow the way. And you have to understand, I'm not putting myself out here on the position of I am the one. I put the game out here so you can understand that there is another way, you know, for you to be outside the bullshit and be able to observe the bullshit. Okay. So what the Caucasians do, they get around one individual who has produced and who has shown through many different examples that he can sustain, and then he has produced something that is great. And I am infatuated with the greatness. I am infatuated with the product. So what we will do as a team is we will finance him. We will allow him to continuously produce and put him in a comfortable environment and give him whatever he needs so he can produce greater and greater and greater. And we will call this a company. And with the money that we get back from whatever product you were producing, we will develop a company that provides shares, and through these shares we will be able to give our input on what we would like it to do or what we would think. But you got to understand that the individuals that do that are highly educated, and they're educated in a chronological format that fits with production. And when I say chronological, I'm talking about human history. Okay. And when you go through enough of human history, and when you go through enough facts, you understand that there is a mysticism that needs to be respected with that. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it works. That's how Sony got developed. That's how Ford gets developed. That's how Kellogg got developed. That's how Nabisco gets developed. You understand? But we are in a new space, and there is no pointing the finger with laughter at black people because they don't understand these things. This is the first time in history we've had corporations that are standing for 200, 300 years strong and have these things called shares and investors and angel investors and so on and so forth. This is the same thing. I mean, this is the first time for blacks to be encountering these structures, and we don't know what they are, and we need to respect them because they have proven their self within sustenance and creation. You need to respect due diligence. You need to respect 20, 30 years of study, 40 years of study. You need to respect life dedication, your life's work. You need to respect these things because if you think that's just all Caucasian write off, by default, you have made yourself a double destroyer. And that's all you see niggas doing is double destroying because they don't respect the areas of development when it comes to sustained and sound companies and industries and what it takes. And there will be casualties, there will be losses. These things may come, but with a unified force these things can be prevented. Okay. And this is a new space for the African mind. Okay. And you need to catch up because the rest of the world is laughing at you. you know Even when it comes to gangsterism and organized crime, we don't have a matured system. Well, the Mexicans can go from their sereños directly into their cartels. White boys can go from their Nazi gangs directly into their mafias, so on and so forth. And that's a nationwide system. When you're in a gang in black culture, your limit is going to be the gangs inside the jails, and that's about it. There is no outer unified force that is supportive in that area. And I'll give a little credence to the NOI FOI structure that does have that, but it's not in the wild format of what we need, which is separated from the religious line, but there is a respect towards the religious line, just like the Mexican cartels respect their Catholicism, and just like the mafias respect the Catholicism. And it's most likely going, but it's not to say that there isn't unified and organized shit going on underneath Allah and Islam. There is. I don't know if that's going on in this country, but there's also a black side for Catholicism introduced by me, the God 720. So there's new things that can be produced here, but it's all going to be going off of the assistance, the silence and secrecy, and the dedication of others who are in the similar thought. All this other bullshit we got going is very embarrassing, and it's embarrassing on a world scale because now that we have the internet, everybody is being observed. Okay, and that's just the bottom line. um Let me see here. Do we have any questions? Here? Let me go up. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, anybody say something, man? You come on in, man. You can say whatever, man. I'm about to get off of here in a minute. It's damn near 11 o'clock. I don't be doing videos at this hour, but it was on my mind. It was on the heart. It need to be talked about, and I don't want to be going through. I don't want, people to get uh caught up into the bullshit with the Diddy or with the whatever. These niggas are losers, they've always been losers, and And one thing, then let me put this out there as well. When I did the Black Madonna research, and when I produced it inside the third volume of the Kicked Out of Heaven, Puffy went and got a Black Madonna tattooed on his back. And with your acts, my dude, because see, your acts are intentional. You see, Catholicism respects the debauch act if it's done for survival or if it's done in defense of your tribe. Um, and anything outside of that that's intentional and you're doing it for your own internal euphoric or joy or your want for power, will be diminished. And that's exactly what happened. You shouldn't have put the Black Madonna on your back. You're undeserving of that. And because you did so, um, you will see the dark side, you know, and it's going to be extremely dark. And me myself, I've said a couple of rough things about the whole Black Madonna thing inside the third volume, but you have to understand that I knew what I was doing, and I knew what my experiences were at that time, because the Black Madonna has a very powerful energy, and the energy is a sexual energy, and that's explained inside the book, but that's also shown by her having a child. You see what I'm saying? Cut this nigga off. So yeah, I got things to do. I got to get up out of here. So y'all go ahead and get the literature, get the Kicked Out of Heaven series, because you need it. You need to comprehend what's going on inside your society and how this white man operates. And then you need to go ahead and get the Black Man's Bible. Get the Black Man's Bible. Get the Kicked Out of Heaven series, and get the woman's alchemy. You have to get it right now, because the woman's alchemy, I only have 2 more copies of that left. And then donate. Cash App, the GAD 720. I'm about to put it over here in the box, so you have no I don't want to hear nothing about I didn't know, or I couldn't click, or the website ain't working. I've maintained all my websites, and my websites have stayed up for eons. you know I make sure of all of that. I pay all of these bills over here, in my name. I don't play with them fucking. I don't, I mean, I believe if a woman come up in here, we gonna work it out. But don't think a female finna come up here and lay around and be a lazy motherfucker. I don't do none of that shit. And the reason why I don't do it is because there's not one woman in my family that's lazy. I've never seen a lazy woman in my life until I graduated high school and started seeing the way y'all are out here conducting with women, and what women think that they can expect, and man, go do all of this and go do all of that, and which is a fucking lie, because white women work with their men. Asian women work with their men. Asian women don't go get no BBLs. They don't get no fake tits, and they be pulling up in the 2035 Benz on you motherfuckers. So you need to take some note, okay, on how they operate, and they got the brothels running in Japan, and they got the brothels running in China, and they women know the deal, okay, on how to operate when it comes to their man, because there is a success rate. You see what I'm saying? So one thing about 720, don't think you finna be up in here no lavish princess. No, I don't respect no shit like that. I ain't never seen no shit like that in my life. You see cleanliness, you see order. My children are in order. Straight A student, Hannibal, straight A student on master. You dig what I'm saying? Master already got a car at 16. I didn't have a car at 16. I'm able to do all of that without a job. So I don't want to hear the dumb shit. I don't believe in no excuses. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what the reality is to the situation. I don't believe in no lazy ass broad. We finna climb Mount Alps. This is greatness. And I want you all to achieve greatness. Consider a lot of the things I stated and explained tonight. Go into the mirror before you go to sleep tonight and tell yourself that you're great. If we don't care about how egotistical it is. Okay? You be a giant. You be the next King Kong. You be the next Godzilla. And that's what this is. Hunt for power. And we don't need to abuse others in order to hunt for power. But please understand that though there are those who expect for dominance to be expressed upon them, in which they're wired to enjoy that dominance so you can enjoy your power. And that's just what this game is. Some people like being stripped, but yeah, that's just a reality. And maybe I dropped too many bars about reality. We got any requests for any songs? I'm about to drop 2 songs, get up out of here. We're feeling mighty ferocious right now. I think we're gonna drop some songs off of the Shaka Zulu album. No. What we got? By Any Means Necessary. Okay, we're gonna bump the By Any Means Necessary, and then we're gonna bump By Any Means Necessary off of the Back to the Future album, and then we're gonna bump Under a Million Stars off of Constantine the Black by This Sign Conquer. You understand? So yeah. Y'all get at me. This is the God 720. Always been that. Always will be that. Buy the books because you need them. Even if you already have a copy, buy it for the future. Your homework is to think in the future. Because when it comes to the future of this America shit, we're going Book of Eli route. It's happening. We can't stop it. It's happening. Get your fucking bullshit together. Attitude adjustment, my nigga. So let's make it roll. All right, then. I'm out of here. Let me see here. Okay, let me see here. I gotta find the song. Let me put on the where's the song at? Where is the song at here? Oh, I don't even think I got that song in the mix. Ooh. We don't got that song in the mix. Oh, yes, we do. Okay, here it is. All right, then. Peace.
By any means necessary, that's why I carry. By any means necessary, that's why I carry. Shouts out to X at the window with the gun. Or was it the Tech 9 and KRS-One? When is the best time to make your ops run? Make they so fly. Keep my 45 looking like the FOI. Hollow rounds that sound just like a war cry. Should've stayed down cause now it's crunch time. When I walk away and take everything that's mine. Sacrifice your fate when you dropping a dime. The silver-tongued devil drinking from the grapevine. The anger on this level can be called the hate crime. Justified before I'm tried, guess that's fine. How a nigga gon' provide and he ain't got spine? These begging ass niggas that ain't got no grind. That's why I drop a stack on the Krishna shrine. I keep one in the chamber and a switch on my 9. Then my victims stand in line. They gotta take a number and better bring a lunch. Full moon, I'm under with a werewolf's hunt. My witches got intuition and riches on the hunch. My family's a dynasty, they all get a cut. We don't believe in luck. The miracles are literal with physical bucks. Tinted windows invisible in that Maybach truck. Can't be seen. 21st century on that gangster lean. Puffing on the finest green. Then I get away clean. They eyes wide shut just like fentanyl fiends. And once they open up, it's the end of your dreams. I'm a solo nigga known for taking whole teams. But I'll tell you one thing. By any means necessary. That's why I carry. By any means necessary. That's why I carry.
You're in my world now.
We battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars. There's lion blood in my chalice, a goat heart in the balance. I speak in italics, discussing these chances. In the Eiffel Tower of Paris, my chariot, the color is metallic. A wonderland to Alice, it's all blunder and malice. Best talent that's combined with magic. Behind the static, there's voices in the shadow. The only choice is battle. Hop into Hellcat and skedaddle. They're watching King Kong climb the Tower of Babel. Ignore every Eve trying to give me an apple. The little rascal that can't be canceled. In the courtyard of my castle, these hens doing nothing but cackle. Now they walking in my chapel with candles that's lit. Definitely with the shits, cause we handle it. Commit with the building that is brick by brick. Old Mac, big head, can't tell me shit. Capoeira with the spiral kick, spit hieroglyphs when the tyrants sit at the Coliseum. Whether spies or allies, I know them when I see them. Greet them with an olive branch, that's for the treason. Watch Pocahontas rain dance for the season. Is he still breathing? After the execution, they blame spirits and start the accusing. And then survive every disaster and delusion. Supreme mathematics, the author of confusion. Niggas be cheating and they still losing. Bones in my blank keep me tuned and influenced by the moon sin. A lunatic in the truant skin. A boogeyman with a heart like a ruby gem. A whirlwind I twirl in the middle of tornadoes. Between riddles and fables, keep my Glock on the table. Shot of scotch keeps me stable. Watching divas belly dance with diamonds in their navel. We rode on sound waves that was way before a label. And while you getting hung by the TV cable, I was ready and able. The black amour that raised you from the grave to the cradle. We battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars.